Today's topic for MES AIMAT Tech Talk series is The Poetry of Programming by Ms. Kumari Anamika, Senior Software Engineer, portQui Private Limited, Singapore. Let us start the session by inviting our Honorable Director, Dr. P.A. Habib Rahman, respected Chief Guest, Ms. Kumari Anamika, Advocate A.A. Abul Hasan, Secretary, MES IMAT, Professor Sharija Aziz, Head of Department MCA, Dr. Muhammad Sajjad, Head of Department MBA, and other faculty members and beloved AMATians. I, Shilpa Biju, is really pleased to welcome all the 20th batch of MCA students to your 8th day of MES IMAT Tech Talk series, The Poetry of Programming by Ms. Kumari Anamika. It goes on without saying that source code are poetic, and it could be used for structuring chord poems out of instructions, classes, functions, syntaxes, and semantics within the programming languages. Although made for communication with computers, it does not mean that Java, Python, SQL, Ruby, CSS, or HTML should not be used for poetic workflow and rhymes too. That is exactly what some web developers have created along the way. While delving into the world of dots, slashes, brackets, numbers, structures, and algorithms. Now, I'm very glad to welcome our core strength of institution, Dr. P.A. Habib Rahman, Director, MES IMAT, to the welcome address. Sir, please.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to everyone who have come over here to attend this program. As part of the tech series, we already covered 7 talks by distinguished guests, and today it's the 8th talk by Kumari Anamika. And the title that is being identified for the program is a wonderful title, The Poetry of Programming. The title itself will introduce people to attend the program. My job is to welcome the guest and others who have come over here to attend the program. Our chief guest is Kumari Anamika, Senior Software Engineer, portQui Private Limited, Singapore. I, on behalf of MES AIMAT family, its management, faculty colleagues, and entire students, welcome Kumari Anamika for this wonderful program.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
HOD MCA Sharija Aziz and HOD MBA Muhammad Sajjad. I welcome both of them for today's program.
Thank you, sir.
I take this opportunity to welcome all my faculty colleagues who are eagerly waiting to attend this program. And the most important part of today's program, or the welcome I should give, is to the batch of 2020 MCA students and their family members who are attending this program. Before I conclude, I would like to request my students that these sort of programs, we are making it available to you to understand and interact with the industry people as to what exactly is taking place in the industry level above what you learn from the college. And this is a continuous exercise, and the success of this program lies with the students who are attending this program. So my repeat request to entire students community is, do utilize this program to your best advantage. Do raise whatever doubts you are having in between and get it clarified in a big way. Once again, I welcome the chief guest, HODMBA, HODMCA, all my colleagues, and all the students to this wonderful program of this afternoon. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your simple and humble words. Ms. Kumari Anamika, currently working as a full stack developer and responsible for production, modification, and maintenance of multiple applications for Oracle Eloqua. She works as a server side developer to implement the server side code in order to develop complex interactive applications. She worked on different web applications and learned many web technologies and REST web services. And I extremely glad to invite our chief guest, Ms. Kumari Anamika. Welcome, ma'am. The space is all yours.
Thank you, Silpa, uh, for your kind words, and also thank you very much, sir, and everyone to having me here. My apologies. Actually, my throat is not well, so if you cannot hear me well, you just let me know. I would repeat myself. I don't mind repeating myself. So yeah. So first of all, I'm going to start with a bit of introduction about myself, that how I reached here. Okay, so as I know, everyone has known already that my name is Anamika, and I belongs to Bihar, and so I just born in Bihar. I would not say that I was brought up in Bihar because being from a army family, my father was in army, so I had opportunity to live in different states, and my childhood was all over the different states. And then later on, I settled in Bihar for some time for my education. I completed my bachelor, which is BCA from Bihar, and then I moved to for my masters. I moved to Cochin University, so I did my masters from Cochin University, and then while I was in the final semester, I wanted to explore the industry already because I was very clear that okay, I have to be become a software engineer, and that's the path, right, which I want to take. So I just took the opportunity to basically get a project into industry, and I got it. I did that, and then uh, I was given interviews and selected from few companies. But then again, I think there was a very conscious choice that I wanted to join a startup company. Okay, and so I did join, and since then, the same company I'm working for more than 4 years now. Well, when I started, of course, even I had a very few and bookish knowledge, which every student has. But then this year of expand, I get to work on different technologies and of course the knowledge and everything, and that's where I my focus was, and so that's my sort of professional journey towards in the industry. And as in personal, if I say other than work, I love to do reading and writing. I kind of and I think that's where this topic, which is poetry of programming, is very very relatable to me, because when I do write poetry, stories, and all of that. So otherwise, I do love coding, so I do practice coding other than the regular work. Then I love gardening, and gardening, for many of us, gardening is just that you need to give water your plants twice or thrice a day. But I feel that that's a very good exercise to your brain, mind, and soul. First, it's good to be around the nature. Second thing, the plants are not just just to keep them and just water them. It's kind of, if you see, you kind of nurture them. It's a responsibility that you hold for. So yeah, that's what I do other than work. So that's pretty much about who I am, professionally and personally. uh, I won't take much time here, and I quickly want to start with the you know our discussion, which is the poetry of programming. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me know once you guys can see.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes, ma'am, it's
Visible?
visible.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am. It's visible.
Okay, thank you. Well, so poetry of programming, right? Now, why I have chosen the topic. Certainly, there are different words and phrases in my mind. The poetry of programming. I think Silpa has very intelligently, I would say, she explained that there are different languages: Python, Java, C, MySQL, Ruby. Then you have numbers, parenthesis, semicolon, colon, and whatnot, right? All of these things, if you think that how would they become a poetry, right? Difficult to imagine. But honestly, that's not true. It is everything you do, right? There is some sort of rhyming is there, right? So even programming has their own life cycle, where it involves. Certainly it's a different because it's a different language and a different area. It has different grammars, different syntax, different semantics, different way of writing. But then ultimately you are creating something out of the the raw thing which is provided. Now there are two things in this conversation which I'm going to cover majorly. One, the poetry, and the other is the programming, right? Poetry. So a little bit of introduction about poetry and then programming. Okay, when it comes to poetry, so poetry is, if you see, it's a some lines. Let's say I'll start with sonnets. So sonnets is nothing but you write some 2 lines or 3 lines. Those things in the English, they are known as sonnets. Okay, they would not necessarily will be rhymed together, but then mm, the the idea of writing is about expressing yourself, that what's going in your mind. Programming, again, also has the same way, that you can express your emotions through poetry of programming. Now, programming, coming to the programming. So programming is nothing, it's literally, it's nothing than, it's just a language that is being understood by computers. Okay, now computers are what? They does computation. Computation means calculation. If you see, it's a very simplistic words when I explain programming, then computers and computation. Well, it sounds simple, and it is simple, but the overall process, if you think from that perspective, it won't sound like that. Okay, now the very basic question, right? I know all of you are freshers here, right? You have just started your career. You Many of you will be coming from very different background, physics, biology, math. Some of them must know programming. Some of them have must heard, because now it's so evident and so popular, that you in your family everybody works, right? So you might have heard these words: Java, JavaScript, Python, C, common thing. Not necessarily you would know, and few of them would know that. Okay, why programming is even important? Okay, it's a basic question, but it's a very important question to be, first, being in the IT sector, and being in the IT student, you need to understand why even programming is important. When you have chosen this area, what is the purpose? I'm sure, uh, other thing, that goes together here is not necessarily all of you have joined this course would turn out to be a programmer. Honestly, that's not going to happen, because some of them will turn out to be a good businessman, will go into some will go into the sector of art, some science, physics, army, and whatnot. You will definitely go to different, but yes, then why this is important to you? Okay, you ended up here, could be any reason, but then why it is important to you, the programming, when you are not basically going to become a programmer or a developer, right? For that, it's a very simplistic thing. I don't have to go over the history. I think past few months, since this pandemic has started, it's a very simplistic and a very crucial way to understand why and how this programming is important actually. Imagine imagine a world there. Think about it. If programming is not there, okay, you don't have access to internet, you don't have access to uh, like online classes, colleges are shut down, you are locked down, you don't have internet, you don't have access to library, right? So so in a way, if these things are not there, this Teams meeting or Google meeting, if they are not in place, so you are done, so life will be stopped, right? But if you look at the, during this pandemic, the only thing that has kept this world running was, not the only thing, one of the thing basically, was technology. Okay, yes, lockdown started, everything went into shutdown. Okay, things are went down. You can't be hungry. You need food, right? You need to be accessible to the retail stores, right? That's where came your mobile apps, right? uh, all these, all these big companies, Swiggy and all of that, they provided home delivery, right? So that all comes with, and there is, though it's okay, it's an app, but then if you think from closely, right? Fine, who doesn't understand the importance of these things? For them it's just an app, but this app is nothing but a programming at the end. It has been, Android has been used, a Java has been used to implement this app, and that app is helping you to get your things done. So it's very basic thing. Now, uh, I'll take another example of that. I think many of you must have seen this Hollywood movie known as Iron Man. Okay, so in the Iron Man, we all of us seen that Jarvis. So our lead actor has this Jarvis, and he was like constantly doing everything for him. Him to providing a coffee and exchanging his heart till building that Iron Man showed, right? Everything he was doing. Now, this idea of programming, it's very good fascination. I think once in a lifetime, if you are fan of robots or programming, or even though if you are a lazy, you must think of having your own very own Jarvis, right? But it not actually inspired enough to us, but it inspired to the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. So he built his own Jarvis in his home. Okay, and there is a documentary outline there. You guys should go out and read that. Okay, so well, all these things. Okay, that comes with the these shows the power of programming. Okay, so let's say you are going to army, right? In army side, or you are doing a business. Even in the business there are so many things. like you are building a company and you are just to start a company, but there are plenty of things in a company. If it is a retail store or a apparel store, even there you need a computers. You can't do a billing in a diary. That's not the, we are not living in those days. And honestly, it's not even feasible to do that. So that's where computers are important. If you have understanding of programming, right, all the problems that you see around you can solve them using programming. That's where the importance of programming is actually, it can be understood. If day by day, if you are reading news and exploring things, then you'll find out there are people, who doesn't have actually much knowledge about, honestly, they don't have much access of the resources. They don't much knowledge of what C and C++ plus plus and what it is being called. But then through your mind, through their mind, they are thinking and coming up with the solution of a problem. So college students only, they have introduced mm, you know uh, like it's a stick, okay, that basically helps to the blind person to cross a road. Okay, so these are the actual problem. These seems to be of course the blind person are living their life, they are doing everything, but then how can you contribute? How can programming can contribute there? They enable the sensor to it, right? They were using a stick all around, right? We have just introduced uh, you know sensor to it. Now it's helping them, so you are solving the problem. And it could be the simplest of the problem around you that you can solve using a programming. And for that you must have to have a understanding what exactly programming can do. Now, so, well, when we talk so much about programming, right? And then of course programming, you can solve it, but then how will you solve it? Okay, programming understands so coding, and that's where comes this coding. So coding is a language which is, which computer understand. Okay, it's a computer's language, it's a machine language, right? And so code is the next universal language. Actually, it's, I won't say that it's going to be, because it's already there. Okay, it's there. So during this over the time where I was explaining about the situation of this entire pandemic, it's actually, it's a very, eye opener for all of us, right? In terms of in terms of the, the power of technology. Okay, and that technology is definitely incomplete without programming, without the code, right? So if you guys have heard and read, so recently you guys have heard that there is a robot who is serving this COVID patient in Chennai, right? So because this virus was, so powerful that it was getting spread by coming into the proximity of the, the infected. Many of the doctors and everybody got infected, right? And if it is a robotics, see, it's a machine, right? There is a programming, and that robot is doing their job and it can't get affected, right? So, and see, it's not, I understand, you some of might, you will think that okay, it's replacing the human. Yes, it is. Definitely, it is replacing the human in terms of resources, but then it's very powerful. Okay, uh, you need to solve a real problem. Okay, but actual problem, when you're solving a problem, it's certainly, there will be pros and cons. Okay, that comes together. You can't, we can't deny that fact. Okay, so code has become already a universal language. I think nowadays, if you even see the curriculum, how they are getting structured, and in coming time you will see that from class 1 or LKG UKG, this programming will get involved already in other countries. Country like Japan or China and US, they are already starting. So nowadays you must have seen this about the white hat programming course. That's, they're all over the place, and you will see, you must have seen the ad. So they're asking that 5 6 year olds can do a coding, right? Okay, the idea behind it is that just to educate them. Okay, in this age only, let them understand what exactly it is, right? Once they understand, then only they can carry forward this thing in further, right? We are imagine, for us, even in my, my time, uh, till 12th, I was, was we had a very limited access to the computers itself. And programming, there was no even the discussion of the programming, though it was there, but only, kind of very limited, and we were not explored that area, so we didn't know. When I was started my graduation, a very first day, uh, I was barely knowing what C is, and I didn't know that. And I think, I'm sure, some of you will also not know that, okay, what exactly C is. Okay, so when I say C, trust me, it's an ocean. Okay, and any other programming language for that matter, even a subject, okay, a regular subject, it's a vast area in itself. And so how will you so imagine that. And now we are asking that, and our courses are defined in such a way that in a 6 month of one semester, we must come across one or two programming language and along with other subjects. And we would expect that, if even we have expectation from ourselves that we will become expertise within 6 months, I'll bet you that's not possible. Okay, because it requires time, it requires practice, right? And so if we are introduced to these things at as early as possible, it's better. And it gives us, I want to use it, right? If somebody wants to use it, I always feel that if I could have introduced to these things earlier, I could have much more knowledge than what I have right now. Okay, after working 4 years, whatever knowledge I have, I could have had many of these things already known when I joined, when I stepped into the industry. But then I think those things, we can't change that fact. Okay, but then now you are here, and in this, you have enrolled yourself to a course where you have exposure to basically understand and know about it. I think it's a best time for you to really understand this. The you make a decision after that, whether it interests you. Not necessarily everyone will be interested to pursue the same thing, but then understand the power of thing, and then spread this to people. Okay, it's okay if you don't want to pursue a career, but if you have this knowledge, if and you contribute to the next generation, or to people around you, to you whom you communicate, to your friends who is coming, let's say, who is coming from a field of biology, and who didn't enroll themselves into field of computers, right? Understand it, spread it. Okay, so that will certainly is going to help everybody. Now, coming to I'm just going a little bit about how this the poetry of programming look like. Okay, so I have taken a very simple example about the hello world. Okay, and this if you see, if you know this, it's fine. If you don't know this, I'm going to explain very precisely. Okay, not will not get into the details, because our idea is to understand what exactly the poetry of programming means, what it can do, and what is the power of it. And then take a decision, and you know and then start your start your career with that very clear head, with the understanding of programming. So if you see, I have written this much line of code. Okay, and this much of line of code, what exactly this is doing is, it is printing hello world. Okay, now, yes, you will think that just to print hello world, why even I bother to write this much of code? Well, hello world, you can write on pen and paper, and how many letters are there? 10. That's it. You know, it won't take even a second to for us to write. But that language, whatever you have written on paper, is not understood by a computer. You can't feed it. Okay, a computer can't understand it. And now, what language a computer understands, and that's a coding, right? And then in the coding, as in a general life, we have different languages: English, Spanish, French, German, Malayalam, Hindi, and whatnot. Similarly, programming world also has a different language with different capabilities in it. Okay, so I have taken here, so this is an example of C programming language, and it was, if you read about the history of it, before all we had all this assembly language programmings, the basic and whatnot. C is, one of the uh, oldest language, and actually it was a very most interactive language where we started. So before that, if you see, they were assembly language, and it was very hard to understand because at that point in time everything was being written into binaries. Okay, so computer, again, I think I'll just add a few more details here about the computers. Though you are feeding this English language programming, computer doesn't understand any of these, right? Internally, so internally, every computer or any system you see, for that matter, even a smartwatch, right, that I think everybody is carrying these days, mobile phone or anything, right? Whatever you see, they can't really make out of it what exactly this hash I include studio.h, what it does mean. What they really understand is, uh, okay, so this gets interpreted into ASCII values, and they get interpreted into the binaries, which is one and zero, and that's the language which another computer understands. It's just one or a zero, right? And it maps every single bit of it, which is written here, into one or zero. Now, to convert this language that you have written, okay, there is a huge programming already went into the system, which basically understands this language. Then it interprets and then converts what computer can what machines, computer, when I say that, it's what computer is, it's basically a hardware device. Okay, so what hardware device can understand, and that's one and zero. Okay, so that's on and off, very simple thing. Again, basic one, on and off, right? And that's where we can map these things on the system, and then they understand it. So now, see, the power of programming is, though it seems it seems that, okay, I am going to write this much of code to just to print a hello world. Okay, though it is printing on machine, yeah, it would took you some 4 5 minutes to write this if you just copy paste it. But once you understand, it's more to understand. So what exactly the studio.h is? So again, studio.h in itself is a huge programming again. So, but you see the power already here, that to understand, to make the system understands, there has been a programming that has already been used. Okay, and then that programming itself is helping you to write a simple code, and then you write in your own language, you create your own poetry, and that gets converted into what a machine can understand, basically. So this will print you hello world on your computers. And now the next thing is the similar thing I have written into, uh, actually it's a C++ programming language. Okay, uh, and so here, if you see the difference which you can easily relate, I was using studio printf there, it's C out there. So that's where the semantics and the syntax comes into the picture. The curly braces, the int variable, everything return, that comes into the picture, and they plays their own role, right? Everything has, so computer has to understand what instructions they have to execute, right? Machine doesn't know when to start, where to start, right? So when, think about it, so when you click on, let's say you have a computer and you just press button, uh, on start, right? How a machine will understand that, okay, now I have to, what I have to start. If you look at the computer, there are plenty of things, right? Then there has to be some starting pointer instructions. So in this program, intmin gives the instructions to computer that you have to start from here, you need to initiate this. So that's where your instruction starts to get executed. Okay, then it sees the curly braces. This curly braces basically defines the scope. Okay, so this is the instruction that we have to, from here I need to start, here I have to end. Then see out, this tells that okay, you just have to print it, return. More details to explain, I think we'll not go there for now. Okay, coming to the similar thing into JavaScript and Python. Okay, the point I was trying to make, the poetry of programming, it's get cleared here. See, so much of code, if you see the C and C++ codes, we had written so much of that. There were 5 7 lines of code that we had written. Here in the JavaScript, you just write one line, console.log, hello world. Now you'll be surprised that okay, wow, I just had to written, write this. But then in this JavaScript, if you you will start working, and when you will gather the knowledge of the programmings and everything, you will see that internally, when this language has been developed, inside that they have done all the hard work for you. Okay, and you are just meant to do what you exactly you need to do when the language. So these are the evolution of language that had happened over the years. So that's where in the C we had to write so much of code, in fact in the C++. But this gives you a more flexibility, right? And then there are a lot of other technical things which is involved, uh, you know uh, where the C gets executed. So we have like compiled programming languages, runtime. JavaScript runs on the browser has so many capabilities in it, which understands the instructions in a more flexible way. Then in the Python, so we had to just do print hello world. Okay, well, this is a very simplistic example. I'm sure this is not enough for you to understand certainly the power of a language. But then once you will start exploring each language through your courses, through your semesters, right, you will understand that okay, uh, what's the difference between these languages, how you will get the details of each language, the evolution, and the cap, what all you can do, what you can't do, right? There are things that well, if we had already C, why C++ came in, and then why JavaScript, why even Python, and then even we don't know how many new languages, every day new technologies are coming into the market, right? Why these things are coming, but they are coming because there are limitations with the existing things, and we are making every day a language or a tool smart enough, and to help everyone, basically, not just to do their things, but also simplifying things for a developer, for a programmer. If you are doing that, there's a hard work already going on to help you with that. Now, talking about programming, and then talking about poetries, everything, a journey becomes important. Okay, the journey of a learning, right? Well, this journey of learning, it doesn't only involves the programming. Okay, so of course you are here, and that's where we are talking about programming. But then learning has nothing to do with just the programming. It has, so everything, in your life you do, learning takes a very very important and crucial role, right? And it has their own way that you do. So if you see, I had written this then, now, and then. Okay, so well, if you think that way, so if that it gets clicked by you, you will understand this then represents our past, this now is our present, and this then is the future, right? And that's every journey of learning has these three basic steps, right? So let's say right now you might don't know anything about programming, right? That's your past. Then now you are here, with your already enrolled in your course, with you have your syllabus, you have issued probably your books, everything. And like, what is this, many new things would come across, along with programming languages you will come across, different subjects, like in the entire computer course, architecture, networking, software engineering, and so many things, right? So that's your now, where you are, right? And here whatever you do, it will get reflected to your future then, right? So this now is a very very important part is going to play right now. I think all of you should consider that, if you have chosen this, right? And this is not to demotivate you, or sort of say anything, but then I would definitely say that, even though right now you might not have considered this software engineer or software developer as your profession, I would say that give your thoughts. Okay, I think this time utilize to understand. If you have already came here, right, try to understand the power of these tools, the technologies, and what you can make out of it, right? There are plenty of problems out there, okay, which still needs to be addressed. And the only thing that can help you is the technology. And technology has the soul, which is your programming, coding, right? Now, while I'm talking about the journey of learning and programming, one other thing which I definitely would like to add here. So in the programming, right, every programming or any language has some soul to it, right? And one thing actually I didn't include it in my slides, because I don't want to make it like a very technical, but it needless to say that when it comes to programming, data structure is a very very important role to it, right? Think from now, thinking about why I want to bring the discussion of data structure is, think about it. Think about our brain, right? Our brain is so intelligent, and it's so powerful. It's a magical computer. Okay, our mind is so intelligent and so smart enough to make decisions, right, and react and express themselves in multiple ways, right? Computer doesn't know it. Mind has, it says that it has more than trillions of data, the capacity, the memory it has, our brain, right? And it process each data, right, so immediately that we could we could easily react. It doesn't take us seconds, to react on any emotion. It's either happiness or sad, or anything, any emotion. How this data are getting processed, this huge set of data, right? That's where your data structure is going, comes into the picture. It leverages the opportunities of a programming language. Okay, so when you are going through your studies, and you are exploring it, certainly you focus on these things. Okay, uh, you understand, like, you always think, you take the problem, and always while solutioning it, think from a perspective that, what if, how my solution is going to help with a bigger picture. Okay, bigger data, everything, that will that's going to help you. Now, coming back to continuing the conversation of the learning journey, right? Well, uh, thinking about the journey, so we all, it's journey that you might have reached here, uh, like reading your subjects, different subjects, okay, even that's a journey. Now the programming journey, okay, a little bit of the programming journey, right? So you must have a questions that what, oh, exactly I'm going to see. There are so many languages, right? That you need, you will be see, you will come across, then what to take, what not to take, which one is better. Those sort of things will come through your learning, right? Well, one thing is to add here is, so no language is can anyone answer that which language is better, English or Hindi? I'm sure you can't, right? Because these two things, they have their own uses, their own power, everything, right? You can't basically compare it. Similarly, in the programming language, there is no comparison, okay? So once you learn it, right, so C language, right? Well, at the end of discussion, I will, tell you that, okay, you know what, in the current market technology, okay, we are, looking for, developers who knows Python or Node.js. They are the trending technologies, and machine learning and whatnot, okay. But then why we are reading C, right? Well, all these new technologies that has been, implemented, they if you look at their core, so these languages are still being used, right? Your computer processors, chips and everything, they are being built on, upon using ccn. Your operating system, your, if you have done this and you haven't done this, I would say that sometime go back, see your operating system programmings, you will find a lot of things written in C language, okay. I think while you travel through the journey of your entire course of your session, right? You need to explore these things, and that's where that will, become your learning journey. It will, it will bring an entire curve there. You will understand, and then I think that's where it will make you understand and help you to make a decision that what exactly you want to pursue with the language and everything, right? Now, well, I think for today I'm going to sum up here. I think from my end, okay, I we would like to have this question answer round as an extended bit, okay? And questions are very important, okay? In the very beginning, I said that you must ask a simple question, and that was why even programming is so important, okay? So questions become very important, right? And as you all are starting your career, you should have doubts, okay? If you don't have a doubt, then well, you need to think about it. You must have to have questions, okay? So I would expect that at least everyone should ask one question, okay? And it can be anything. Again, let's make this interaction, this webinar and TED talk, like two ways, okay? You have heard me out, right? Come up with your questions, and let me see if I can answer them for you. So, shall we start the question answer round with all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. So, who wants to go first?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hi.
Uh, from your experience, which language is better and why?
Well, uh, thank you for your question. First of all, uh, always being a leader is a good thing, so very good. Now, to answer your question, so well, I started with PHP. Okay, so in my college, I actually in my graduation I did a project in Java. Okay, but that was very limited knowledge of Java, where I used applets and all of that. Then coming into my masters, I opted to because I wanted to explore this web technology, so I chose PHP. Then I worked on Java again in my actually that was in my company where I implemented industry standard projects. Okay, and then I came up with Node.js and then worked on Python as well. Uh, Again with the Python, I have don't have enough experience right now. uh, if you ask my preference again, as I said in my talk already, that no language is superior. Okay, so I would not say that which language is better, but yeah, while working with all these languages, I felt certainly Java is a very powerful language. Okay, though we have like lot of trending technologies which is which is in demand, right? So which they are like all web technologies like Angular JS, React JS, Node JS, all of that. But yeah, Java I felt is a very powerful language, still very powerful in terms of if you think from so to build an application, right? There are few basic components that are very important, that how your application is going to handle the load, how secure it is, how it handles the errors. Okay, if anything happens, uh, think about crashing YouTube, Facebook, or anything. If you heard about it, if these websites go down, they barely go down for like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, not like weeks down, right? So from that perspective, right, when we are, I mean, in the area which where I am working, so and kind of application I have been developing, yes, Java is very powerful. I feel it's very powerful. But then when I have to choose at this point in time, Node.js is what I prefer, and lately I have been working with that as well, and I found it very powerful tool, the Node.js. But yeah, actually that can only be used to build web applications, whereas Java can be used to build both system application, which is and then also any web applications as well together. So I think if I have to give you a summarized answer, then I would say Java is the one which I feel is, my preference is that, again, language is not better or less. My preference would be Java. Yes, any other question?
Yeah. Would you suggest C language for a beginner?
Yes, I think everyone should start with C. Okay, so and you will ask me why C, right? So if you see if you see basically the language the C is written, so most the time, right, you will have to basically write a code, like you have to give instructions for everything, right? So to give you an example, so let's say if I have to uh, if you are aware of it, okay, so let's say you have a list of items, okay, and you have such two buckets where you have, let's say, 10 items and 20 items, right? And let's say these two buckets have books, okay, and both of them have same books with the multiple frequency. Some of them are one, some of them are two. Now if I ask you that, can you write a program and that gives me the unique how many unique books are there into these two buckets? Okay, so when I say bucket in programming language, they will be referred as an array. Okay, and so if you think from a C, you will have to really understand that how are you going to compare each one of them. Okay, however, if I have to write in Node.js, so because it's a latest technology, already a lot of work has gone into the back, in the language backend. Okay, so they have just exposed few libraries for me to use it, so I can just give like unique, and I'll pass both the arrays. It is going to return me what exactly I'm expecting. I'm expecting the unique thing, I'm expecting the frequencies or anything. However, in the C, you will have to literally write the for loops for it to compare it and then get me the result. So I think that's where it helps you to exercise and understand how internally a programming is used, it is developed basically. So if you have understanding of that, then if you write that, finding that unique books into two buckets in Node.js, you will have an understanding that okay, what internally exactly must be happening, even though I have just written, give me unique. Okay, so C, certainly you should, I think you will definitely must have C in your first semester. Yes, you should focus on that. It will help you in a longer run.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, what is actually a product based company and what skill is important there?
Okay, it's a very good question. So well, if you see, there are yeah. So basically, there are two type of companies. Okay, which is a classification. So one is a product based company, and other is a service based company. Okay, now so product based company are those companies which are constantly building products products to the people out there who are looking for a solution. Okay, so to explain you that, I'll try to explain. So taking an example of Google, right? So Google is a company. It's actually, and nowadays, just to give you an actual real picture of it. So none of the company right now had remained as just a product based company. Okay, so in some way the other, we always have to service as well. So when it comes to services, that let's say you build a product, right? You give it to customer, right? But what if the customer doesn't know how to use it? And that's where the word the service comes, that okay, you have built this product, but then you are helping also. There are set of people who don't know how to use the product. So that's where, take an example, so cyber cafes, right? See, now everyone has mobile phone, computers, you have access of internet. Okay, considering internet as a product, system as in product, but not everyone knows how to use it. And in the cyber cafe there are person who has a knowledge of how to use it. So somebody who doesn't know, we go there and they say that okay, print me this, so they does that. So this is called as service, right? So service is, so the same company. So Google builds every year, they releases so many products. So they have Gmail and whatnot, actually Google Cloud Platform. Then right now they have Google Meet, this product we are using, and then and so many things. Now with the Gmail, right? So they are not they are it's their product, right? But then there is a service involved as well, right? So let's say if I am to open a company, right? So then I want to have my own inbox. Okay, I can't use gmail.com for a industry thing, right? I want, so they provide, okay, they will set you up a domain for your company, right? So this is called as in service. Okay, so all these the big companies, actually leading companies of our current time, like TCS, Infosys, Cisco, all of that, and for that matter Oracle, right? So they they have a powerful products which they keep releasing every year. But then there are peoples who wants their help to basically use their products itself, and that comes called as a service. Okay, and to now to answer your second question, what are the skill set that is required to become an to a product based company? So a very simple example. So normally actually not in particular you need a skill set, right? I think of course whatever you do, right, whatever the knowledge and skill set that you are acquiring, and you are looking forward to work with, right? So you have to be good at it, that's all. And then when you are there, in any, actually in any field, okay, it's not just in the company. So in any field, if you understand that okay, what you know, right, and then what you are going to do, right, that understanding, so you can use your skill set there, not the skill set of how to do the things, but the skill set of learning things and then getting what exactly being expected from you, right? So in a company, what really happens is that they have multiple products running at the same time, like 5-10 years. And if you work for like through 2-3 years or 4 years in a same company, then you will get to chance to work on different products. Now I know. y- and then it will be so if it is a smaller companies, okay, and that conversation is a big conversation, basically. Well, let me put it into the simple words. So if you have the smaller teams, right, then you will be expected to basically work through all the different different products, right? However, if you are in a bigger team, then once you are done with one project, there are a different set of people who basically manages it, right? So uh, I think the presence of knowledge, right, and your attitude towards how you want to lead and how you want to work. I think that is a very important, to be in anywhere, in any area, not in particular the product based company, or in a way, that way. So if I know that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And which is the best and easy language to accommodate with artificial intelligence?
Well, if you want to start with the artificial intelligence, I think for now you should opt for Python. Okay, it's Python is it's definitely a leading in terms of the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, right? And so for you to right now you can consider it Python, but there are many other languages. Now see, with every language and looking at the demand. Right now, so everything is being converted into the machine learning, and there are intelligence are being added to it. So every language, slowly, in coming time, you will see that all the languages, even the existing languages, they will come up with their own intelligent part of it. They have started working on it, right? And every time they are being released. But this Python language, so they that has been built only with the purpose of building the next generation applications. So in fact, the space agency, I think they are the like latest and the most company which are using the technology in their most way, right, utilized way. And even they uses Python for to sending the rockets in space, and of course along with many other things. But yeah, Python is the language that you can opt.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Ma'am, I have a question. Can you share an experience that how do you approach a high pressure situation in programming?
Sorry, come again.
Can you share an experience that how do you approach a high pressure situation in programming?
High pressure situation in programming. Well, okay. Let me help you first. I think I'll help everyone to understand this question. So your question is, how to handle a pressure in a programming language, high pressure situation in programming language. Well, I think I could have mentioned the uses of data structure. So in a programming language, right, when you are writing a program, well, so I'll give you. I'll actually take an example here. So imagine, we all know umbrellas, right? We use for to get safe from raining or sun, right? Now think about it. You are given a project, okay, or you came up with an idea. Well, I have an umbrella, but I have to basically open it, okay. Why can't we write a program and attach to this umbrella, so that will tell that, okay, if it sees sun, okay, and if it sees it started raining, if it has a sensor attached to it, they could identify okay, what exactly the situation is, and then open up the umbrella, right? So now, well, someone came up with this idea. Now, uh, some other person, right? Even they have given the similar task. Now they thought that, okay, Well, not everyone, like always want an umbrella, right? So how can I validate, how do I make this program more efficient? So somebody thought that, okay, instead of using the sensor and identifying, okay, now the umbrella should get open, somebody could think of that, okay, let's ask user what they exactly want to do. They want to get drenched. Okay, at times we love to get drenched in rain. So instead, so you build a program where you just recognize that, okay, it's raining, and then you open the umbrella, but somebody recognizes this event and then ask the user what you want to do it. Okay, and then they open the umbrella. Now, to answer your question, the pressure of a pressure situation in a programming, so your program, okay, your program should be really be very accommodating. See, you need to consider different areas of it. So these are the programming. So if I had to give you, add two numbers, right? Well, if you are very little, even if you are a little bit of aware of programming, you can write easily, a plus b, right? And then you will printf, right? Now think of the pressure situation of this programming would be, what if in a and b I have given you a number which is like 1 million and 1 million, right? So in programming languages, right, so if you declare a variable, that variable has a capacity in terms of memory, right? How your program will, the basic program, if you don't think about this pressure situation, right, then you won't be, your program will fail, right? So when you are writing a program, then how could you think, the different use cases, right, to handle different situations in a programming? I think that's the ideology behind handling the pressure situation inside a programming.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Anyone else? Any questions? Anything? See, you don't mind asking questions, go ahead. If you
Ma'am,
if
there
you
is
are
a
not,
Ma'am,
question
there
from
is a
the
question in
chat
chat
box.
box.
sorry.
Ma'am, there is a question from Abhijit Das.
Yes.
What do you enjoy about program?
Wow. Yes, that's a very, very good question. Okay. So, see, creating something out of, as you see, you have a different syntax, semantics that is out there. Okay, and it's available for everything. Now, I with with the uses of these things, I have a capability to basically create something. Okay, so other day, right, I was not, keeping well, so and I had to work. Okay, so every time what really happens is, so if you are working, then you have different, websites and products where you have to basically log in, always enter your username, password, and then hit enter, then you logged in, right? So I was thinking, and I was being lazy. It's not a difficult job. And even it's not difficult to basically remember some 10, 20 passwords and username and to enter. But then I thought of, why can't I write a program, okay, that basically I will give an instruction, okay, which website I want to go, right? And then what username, what password it needs to take, and then log in. Okay, so I kind of started writing a program in a actually it's known as an automation script. I had no basically much knowledge about it, so I just thought of it and then I started writing it. Okay, so this this now and then I wrote it. Basically it was not accurate, I'm still working on it, but then actually it is able to identify, okay, which website. So I have listed couple of my company website and then their username and credentials, and it basically takes input from that file. Okay, for this website take this as an input and this as an password, and then it's logging in, right? So this, this thing which I can create, I think that's the, very pleasant way of programming. And just to add to this, right, I'm working in, working in a industry standard, right? So every day, so that was my problem. Okay, I feel, I feel really happy when I solve the things, right? Actually, that was just an ideology of creating something. But then, you know actual joy comes when you solve a real time problem to the users. So every day we have products out there for a customer, but then not, that product itself is not sufficient. You have a mobile phone, right? It's not sufficient. You could imagine lot of other things still, though it has a plenty of feature that we didn't get enough time or enough, I think, to basically explore everything what is already been there. But then we thought, okay, what if it is already, this is already there, what if, I could add this, right? So again, the actual users who are working in the, industry, and they are, when they come up with the problems, right, and they ask that, okay, can we do this now? Being a, being a developer, if I could think of how to solve their problem, okay, using my programming language, I think even that's, solving a problem to a real time problem for anyone, that's a biggest joy of doing a programming, basically. Any other questions? Come on, ask any
And there is
questions.
another question in chat box. Ma'am, how can I learn coding in an easiest way? Can you give any tips to learn it easily?
Yes.
From Anakaj.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a good question, actually. Well, to okay, so one thing I would, say that, and then it comes from my, even, my personal experiences, that, whenever we to start anything new, okay, we always, initially, all, the first thing, actually, being a human, and in the human psychology, the things come that, okay, if I don't know, it will be very difficult. Certainly it can be, but not necessarily. You need to always think from how to break, into smaller things. So when you are working in a company, right, we come up with the bigger problems, okay, and if you think that way, you won't be able to solve it, the problem. You can't even think of providing a solution. If okay, now, say somebody say that, give me a, vaccination for COVID, right? Biggest problem, right? You can't even think of it. Now we start breaking the problems from a very many minute level, where it started, what caused it, what are the symptoms, and even inside that there are so many minute things that can come, which needs to be first understood, and then think of that, okay, what can be built. Same goes with anything that you start, want to start learning from it. With the programming, it's very important. So I'll tell you something. I can't speak Malayalam. Okay. Why? It's not that Malayalam is tough. Yes, it is. Okay. I understand it's one of the toughest language, in the world, right? But it's not that, I can't. As I said, human minds are the most smartest computer can ever have. But it is difficult me to speak Malayalam at this moment, because I don't know the grammars of it, right? I don't know the syntax of it. So that's where I can't speak it. So first I need to understand how, what are the basics. So I need to learn the ABCD of Malayalam first, okay, which is ko, ka, ki, and all of that, all the basic things, grammars, right? Grammars includes, the adjective, noun, pronoun, then, genders and everything, right? So same goes with the programming language. When you are starting with it, understand the nerves of it, understand the grammars of it. So in the programming language, you saw the small snippet of C programming language. I included hash include studio.h. Okay, why I need to include studio.h? What headers exactly do? Okay, that needs to be. So when you will start, I think any book that you will follow, they have these things written from the beginning. But we always just jumps to start writing the code. Okay, we are so excited about it. Again, it's a very common nature of us that we start. Okay, I want to write a hello world program today. Okay, and then you write it, you copy paste, and then you write it. But then you don't understand what exactly. So I'll actually go back here. It's a simple thing, but if you understand this structure once, okay, the importance of it, in C language, when you will write even the complex of the program, this structure is not going to change, because this is how you write C. You have to include the libraries. Okay, and what this library does is, whatever you used inside this library has everything. So this libraries basically tells that, okay, what this printf is, and then these things have been defined into different libraries. Okay, so this include, the importance of include is, if you write this program without this include, it's going to error out. Okay, so in your book, from a very first chapter, you will see that they will talk about hash include studio.h. You have to hash include, but then why it is important? What is written inside studio.h? I think the one who spends this, who pay attention to these little details, right? Why it has been saved with .h? However, when you save a C program, you save it with .h. Okay, so these things you will see in your books, but then you will skip it. Generally, we skip it, and and when it captures our mind, till then it becomes very late. Okay, because then you will rush to the things, because you have couple of, plenty of things to do that. So when you are starting, so you know break the things. Okay, and then like put the pay attention on the minute details. Okay, I think that's where you can start learning any language, or see anything. Okay, even though you are learning to play a new instrument, right? You have to basically start with the beginning, and the in the beginning, the details, as much as attention you pay on the smaller details, and basically that actually has a bigger impact in overall perspective, if you see, right? So yes, I think start with the, start breaking things into smaller, pay attention to the smallest details earlier, understand everything. Don't try to jump or escape, saying that, okay, you have written this hello world program, and then you know how to write a C language. That will be, and then you want to move on to for loop, then switch and whatnot, the different parts of programming language, right? They are definitely exciting, but the smaller details in the beginning are very important. So try to understand the grammars first. Pay most attention on the grammars. What exactly this return do? Where does it return? Ask these questions. Okay, if you don't understand, then there are so many videos, articles out there, and then you have college faculty, teachers, and then so many. There are no lack of resources. So you can basically, if you want to understand, you can do it. But yeah, grammars are, and syntax and everything, these are the things where you should start and pay attention more to learn. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. There is another question from Fasana Siddhi. Ma'am, how to keep our programming and technical knowledge up to date with the current trends?
Yes, sorry, do we have to keep it? Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, ma'am. How to keep our programming and technical
Okay.
knowledge up to date with the current trends?
Yes. So, well, current trends, actually, you should always, nowadays, I think everyone has access to different social media platforms, right? I think all of you should. follow some or the other communities of the programming. Okay, see the number of followers. Okay, and I today if you understand already, then you will see that there is something called as verified thing, right? So those communities you can basically trust, right? Follow them, right? They will they posts and they put the posts every day around the technologies language. So uh, I'll list out few. You guys can start following it. So you have Gigs for Gigs, Hacker Inc, Code Chef, Hacker Earth. So these platforms, I think you guys should follow, right? And if you will visit and if you'll see their posts, either it's on Twitter, and I think they even publish article every day or a week or so. So they talks about what's really going on, what is being asked in the companies and everything. I think those information will come from, if you if you follow these steps, right? What exactly is trending in the market, and then yeah, I think every time whenever you get a chance to communicate with the industry person, you can of course ask directly to them that what's really going on. So that will help you to understand what exactly going on in the market, because I understand being into the college, these details somehow get lacked, because you will be so involved and engrossed into your semester internal exams project assignment. It's a hectic job to do that. Then these things, because for that moment that's important, and these things takes a second back seat. But then a little bit of effort. Okay, you are visiting your social media, whenever you see a post from these communities, just read them. Okay, give 5 minutes, read them, you will get to know that. So yeah, this is how you should be doing it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Yeah, any other question, anything?
Ma'am, what is the fundamental difference between coding and programming?
Sorry.
What is the basic difference between coding and programming?
Well, actually, if you see, if I have to put into the words, okay, honestly, they are interrelated to each other. Difference, for that matter, if you say, see, programming talks about the entire thing that you basically can program. Okay, program means you can write into a format which code can computers can understand, right? So that talks about a programming. Okay, and whereas code, okay, code talks about which code talks about the instructions how you give. Okay, programming is like a superset of this code. Okay, code talks about, so if I have to write a code for, let's say, to sum two numbers, or let's say build a a calculator. Okay, so in a calculator you can add subtract. Taking an example of a simple thing, right? Add subtract multiply and divide. I have given a four actions to so these are the instructions that will be given into a code. Okay, where that's that's your coding instructions. Okay. However, the program comes into the picture. That's not all. Okay, so in the programming you need to consider, what if user gives a minus minus. Okay, and then they are trying to add the addition. How will you handle that? So programming is like, you need to when a problem is given. Okay, program means think from all the dimensions, right? And when you have thought all the dimensions, right, then converted them into the proper instructions, which will be your code. Okay.
Ma'am, you write poetry, right?
Yes, I do, right.
So what's the web address?
Web address, actually I have put it into the Tumblr. If you wish, I can in the chat I will do, and then you can take it from there. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
actually it's
Okay.
I, yeah, I Anamika 27 tumblr.com. You can go there. You can read poems.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So, how's weather these days in Kerala? I think it would be sunny days, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, December, January. Yeah, actually, I have been there for 2.5 years. December, January are normally hotter. Uh, well, coming from north, for me it was in the north. December are very cold actually, but not Kerala. Yeah.
Ma'am, where is your home, actually?
Sorry.
Where is your home?
Yeah, I am from Bihar. So my home is in Patna, which is the capital city of Bihar. But I actually am staying in a Bangalore for more than for 5 years now. I've been working here. So after I completed my studies in Kerala, I moved to Bangalore, and since then I'm here only. Yeah, but due to this pandemic, I went for a very good time. I was in the home for like last 4 months, but then I'm just back because the office is going to start sometime soon. So yeah. Any other questions? Anything? Let's interact, guys.
Ma'am,
Let's
where did you
interact.
pursue your graduation and all?
Uh, well, I did my bachelor degree from Bihar itself. Okay, and I did bachelor in computer application, and then after that, actually, I was pretty sure that I want to basically build my career into in the software industry itself. Then I decided to pursue MCA. And for MCA, I actually qualified that CAT exam, which the Kochi University, had. And then by default, I mean, I scored good there, so I just came into the Kerala and completed my masters from there, Cochin University. Well, I'm very surprised that you guys don't have a question, or you don't want to, or you are scared of asking me. Well, I'm not a ghost, right? You can ask.
Students, please ask questions. Grab this opportunity.
Yeah, see, it's okay. It's I understand that when you are starting, it's you feel scared to ask the question, but it's very important you to ask the question. And it's not about today only. I think when you are in colleges, I would recommend that every time you come across your faculty, see, they are really very intelligent people. And we are fortunate enough that we are getting this opportunity to basically get classes from them. So whenever you are in the class, ask questions to teachers as well. I know uh, they have a lot to offer, I think. And but more than that, you have a greatest opportunity to basically seek knowledge from everyone. See, it's not again, I think I'll add there, of course, professors, yes, must ask questions to them. Never leave an opportunity to ask questions. But not just the professors, interact with your friends, and to your juniors, seniors, to your librarian, anyone. Okay, seek knowledge. Okay, it's the only way to seek the knowledge is to communicate. Okay, and it's very important. I'll tell you something. I kind of I'm very much an introvert kind of a person. Okay, and I preferably love to stay in a solitude with around my laptop and my books and my pen and paper. Okay, but then when and actually I was pretty much sure, as you guys are, in my even first semester, I was hesitant to talk, ask, but then being there, because I was a person with full of doubts always. Okay, so I used to ask questions to my professors. And but then when I came into the industry, right, so here now I have to work every day with a different person. Okay, and then not just that, and you have to communicate with the different persons, coming from different countries, different language, culture, and everything. Now, understanding their problems. So if you won't ask the question, and if you don't basically communicate, right, you will not understand what exactly they are expecting and want. So how will you help them, right? So communication becomes a very important, whatever area you go. Okay, communication and interaction is very important. Build your networks. Okay, uh, it's important. I'll tell you a small story here. About the networking. So, this, when you are building a product, okay, so I'm taking an example of Facebook here. So, if you see Facebook has UX, right? UX, whatever you see, that is being called as UX, right? Then you enter your username and password, right? And it basically logs you in, right? If somebody uses your email address and gives a single digit of password wrong, it doesn't allow you to log in into the website, right? There, meaning they must have stored your username and password somewhere, right? So that is being called as a backend. Okay, we use so basically databases are being used for that. Uh, so that is UX, and then talked about the backend. Now the processing. So there has to be a logic written which is basically accepting this username and password from the UI, right? And then it is being sent to the backend. Then it is being checked into the database. Then they are returning whether you are a correct user. If you are a correct user, then you are able to log in. If you are an incorrect user, you are getting an error message, right? So uh, like, to a product there are many things, many areas, right? So when you will start exploring this area, now not everyone can learn everything and build a product single handedly, right? So you will need a team, right? So even if you are doing a project in your internal semesters, you will have to do it. Then you will have to form a team there. Okay, and in the team then you will divide the task, that who is going to do what, right? And unless you work all together collaboratively, and unless you don't understand, explain to each other what exactly you have to build, and then what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, you won't be able to complete this unless you have a very good and clear communication. Okay, so I think that's where even the conversation, communication, interaction becomes a very crucial part to it, right? So well, I was saying that, yeah, in my company, then I was introvert initially. I was very good at work, but I was bad at communication because I was like very hesitant to communicate. But then uh, slowly I realized that no one is going to like there is no ghost, right? And we are not a, and even they are not our parents, they are not going to school, and even we get scolds. It's okay, we are learning it here, right? But that should not stop us from a conversation. And once I basically broke this barrier to me, I think that it opened a lot of opportunity. Now I every day I kind of work with different person, different people from different country, different region, and I can strike a conversation, and I can you know build a rapport with them. And if that rapport basically helps you to work in a good way, right? So I think you should, yeah, even going forward you should keep this definitely as a prime thing. So any other questions I got, or no?
Okay, anyone have any doubts? We can wind up this session.
Ma'am, some more questions are there in chat box.
Sure. Can somebody read it for me? Shilpa, or whoever is reading, can you help me with that questions?
Yes, ma'am. From Jewel George, ma'am, I want to learn Python as my main language after my master's. So considering the growth of technology nowadays, can I be able to find a job using Python language, or should I need to learn different language? There is another question too.
Mm-hmm.
To get placed, which is the best coding language knowledge to we want?
Okay, so I'll answer the first question where you have asked about, you want to learn a Python and you'll get a job or not. First thing, Python is an amazing language, and in a coming future, it has tremendous opportunities, right? Even today, there are a lot of opportunity with the Python already in the market, right? So not a problem. You don't have to, see. Don't worry about seeking a job based on a programming language. Well, any language you want, right? So there is a need of each language. There is an entire community, there is an entire company which needs good people, basically good people, smart people, who can code and who can basically provide a solution in either C or Python. So companies are there. Honestly, I'll there are lack of good talents, I'll tell you. So we and I am also in the part of in my company as an hiring team, right? Most the time we are in a like a need of a good candidate, okay? And out of 25, 30 for one position, if there are 50 candidates are coming in, uh, you know uh, by after disappointment, okay, and because we had the requirement, we had to hire somebody, we end up hiring average people, okay. And then we thought that actually it's great to come up with a good knowledge people. Whenever we come across, it's really happy because it's good to work with them, okay. Company needs a people like them, right? So don't worry about, I mean, I think you should not worry about getting hired based on a programming language. And uh, Python, certainly not. You should not be worrying about. But yeah, actually that goes with any language, but provided you should be good at it. Whatever you choose, you should be good at it. It's not that in your resume you have written Python but you don't know anything about it. So not most of the time I have come up with the profiles where they have written, I have done machine learning, and when then you ask the question, they can't even speak about what exactly machine learning is all about. Okay, so we come up with this kind of profile. So don't do that. If you want to build, work towards it. Make yourself so good at it that company will hire you in a minutes. And to answering your question about getting entered into the industry based on a language, well, if you see the hiring process, okay, so this entire recruitment process goes in a different ways, okay. So first thing, when you are basically past when you are already in your college, right, and you are just passed out, okay, the how this hiring company works is, so if you talk about any leading company, except some smaller startups, but nowadays even they have learned this culture. So first thing would be that you will have to go through the coding round interview, okay, where you will be given a problem, right, and you are free to choose any programming language. You are so whenever you will attend in any interview, right, you will never be bound to any programming language. Whatever language you are comfortable, you can write, you can provide a solution in the language you are comfortable in, right. And once you are onboarded, right, so then we train them. That's how it work, because there is always a training session that happens as soon as you gets as soon as you join the company. So to just to get placed, you don't specifically need a programming language, but then you need to, so through your semesters, you will read about, let's say, C programming language. And if somebody asks that how many type of different type of variables inside a C programming language, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, any number, right? You these type of details you can't miss out, okay. But they are you can't say that it's a programming language question. They are your semester questions, and it can be not necessarily for only for the programming, but it can be for any other subject. It can be from networking, it can be from you know computer architecture, uh, cryptic, cryptology you will read, and artificial intelligence, even that was a subject in our syllabus. So whatever your subject reads, so that is more from your course than a specific programming language. But yes, in one of in one any of the programming language, you should be good at it. uh, Select anyone, okay. Of course, you will learn that, that's where, when that's where your journey towards the learning will help you, because you will be exposed to different programming languages, you will understand pros and cons, and unless you basically explore it, you won't be able to make a decision what language you are interested in. And once you find that, I think you should practice in such a way that you should be good at it. Okay, so once you are in one language, you should certainly be very good at it, that any problem comes, you can write into that one problem. And I think to step it into the industry, if you will attend the college campuses, right, the one other thing is the mathematics that you will have to always focus for, right? That you will have to keep in mind. I think once you will be in the fourth semester, everyone will start rushing towards it, and that there will be percentage questions, there is time and distance and whatnot. So these type of things, you can start, you should keep practicing, so at the end moment you won't be in the rush that okay, because they will ask this kind of questions if you sit in any campus selection, and even off drive selections if you attend. So there'll be few programming questions, there'll be few English comprehension, and then problems will be given that you can solve in any programming language, right? So I mean, these are the actually recruitment processes that comes under, right? There are, I mean, it's a vast area again, but yeah, these are the details that is common across most the companies, right? So yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think there is no other questions. If participants, any questions? Otherwise, we can wind up the session. Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Yeah, looks like there's no
I
question. It's
think
okay.
there is no question.
Okay, no, I think that's fine. So, well, you know, thank you everyone, for listening me out. Right. If if you have any question or anything that you would like to ask in person as well, then I will, I will share my email address. Right. You can reach out to me anytime, and for any sort of technical help, any questions that I can help. And so yeah, thank you very much for listening me. So well, you see here, I have written mercy. So well, we talked about the programming, the poetry, and the learning and everything. So I kind of very much fascinated by French language. So these days I was learning French. I've started self learning, and I know the mercy is the French language that says thank you. So yeah, thank you all of you for listening me out, and all of them who asked the question. It's very good, and I think Silpa, thank you very much to helping me out with getting me all the questions and everything. Wishing all of you a great future and a great journey towards your destination. We'll see if we meet again. Otherwise, yeah, all the best, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for an informative and wonderful session with us. Now we can wind up the session. I request Ms. Neeta Dali, Assistant Professor, Department of MCA, MES AIMAT, to deliver the vote of thanks. Miss.
Thank you, Shilpa. Honorable Director, respected Chief Guest of the Day, respected HODs, other dignitaries, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. It's my pleasure to express my heartfelt thanks to our Chief Guest, Ms. Kumari Anamika. We had a wonderful session that was very informative and interactive. First of all, I would like to thank for your sincerity that you have shown today to take the session, even though you were not well. Thank you, ma'am, for that sincerity. And we were all wondering about the topic. What could be the poetry of programming? And you could well explain about it. We didn't know this poetic aspect that you shared today. We all know programming, but you could highlight that creativity that we could do in programming. Thanks a lot for sharing that information. and your experiences. And the talk was very interactive for with our students. So thank you once again on behalf of MES IMAT and MCA department. And my sincere thanks to our beloved Secretary Advocate Abul Hassan for his consistent support for us. And my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Director, Dr. P.A. Habib Rahman, for his valuable words and guidance for us. Next, I extend my thanks to Professor Sharjah Aziz and Dr. Muhammad Sajad, HODs MC and MBA, for your valuable presence and support. My heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Jibin and for his sincere effort for this program. Shilpa Biju, thanks a lot for your sincere job. My sincere thanks to all my faculty colleagues for your valuable presence and support. Last but not the least, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all my dear students who have been actively participating in this session. Thank you. Thanks a lot once again, all.
Thank you, ma'am. Code is the interface to the generation's imagination. The need for people to speak the ABCD of programming is imminent. Source code poetry is a way to express ourselves combining code and programming. Now, that's all for today's sessions. Details regarding the next session will be informed to you. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe. Thank you, Anamika ma'am. Thank you, all participants. Thank you, all faculty members. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.